Somewhere beyond the sea, somewhere waiting for me. My lover stands on golden sands and watches the ships that go sailing. Somewhere beyond the sea, sun's there watching for me. And if I could fly like birds on high, then straight to her arms I'd go sailing. I know beyond the star, it's near beyond the moon. And I know beyond the doubt, my heart will lead me there soon. We'll be beyond the shore, we'll kiss just as before. Happy we'll be beyond the sea. Never again I'll go sailing. Beyond the shore, we'll kiss just as before. And happy we'll be beyond the sea. And never again I'll go sailing. And never again I'll go sailing.
So good morning. Thank you, Kyle. That was truly inspirational. Thank you much for the kind kickoff. And good morning to everybody that's joining this monthly town hall. As you can tell, this is a different format than usual. One thing you'll notice is that we combined both the Memorial and the Mercy hospitals together into a single town hall, primarily because our leadership teams wanted to absolutely take this opportunity to commemorate the day that COVID-19 entered our doors. Importantly, we also wanted to remember and tribute those that we've lost over the past year and cherish and celebrate the good that has transpired.
The word commemorate means to recall and show respect for and all that it is what we shall do. We will recall the losses of the past year, our colleagues, and of what we once thought of as normal way of life and we will pay respect for each of you, the men and women of Mercy and Memorial Hospitals, for your perseverance, your strength, your courage, and yes, your commitment to our mission.
On March 11th, 2020, we received an email from Common Spirit Health that the World Health Organization had just declared COVID-19 a worldwide pandemic. Just days later, Mercy had their first COVID-19 patient on March 23rd, 2020. Almost 3 weeks later, on April 14th, 2020, Memorial had their first COVID patient. Little did we know how profoundly our lives would change. We had no idea and could not possibly comprehend how much and for how long.
And so it went, and we were agile, changing and adapting in the face of what we were coming to know about the virus and the acuity of our patients. We created virtual ICUs, we erected tents, we reorganized the ED, and changed our visitor policy so many times we lost count. We got enough PPE and adapted new cleaning technologies. We made our spaces safer for our staff and our visitors. We educated the public through community webinars and media roundtables. We worried about our loved ones at home and our children in distance learning. Through all of these changes, we also lost loved ones, friends, and coworkers.
As we honor the one-year anniversary of caring for patients during the COVID-19 pandemic, I invite all of us to pause and reflect. In the face of tremendous adversity, our community has grown stronger and more resilient than ever before. There were days when it seemed that we were on the verge of being pushed past all reasonable ability to cope, and yet, in each of the moments, we rose to the challenge of living into our mission. We continue to make the healing presence of God known in our world.
Still, in the midst of our tremendous success, it is impossible to forget all of those who are no longer with us. We've lost patients, coworkers, and family, some to the pandemic and some to other tragedies. It has been challenging to know how to grieve those losses. How do we comfort one another when we haven't been able to even gather together in a room? While we've been able to remember the lives of some of those that we've lost with memorials set up on our units and with virtual celebrations of life, it feels like there is still more that we can do.
Let's take a moment and a pause to remember colleagues, friends, and co-workers we have lost. We shared their tears, we shared their laughter, and in many ways, we shared each other's lives. And so we remember Debbie Trone, Leslie Harris, Laura Wilson, Sylvester Vargas, Sylvia Gruyer, Emily Hernandez. And I invite you in silence to remember your family, friends, and loved ones who have also passed this year.
We will now say a prayer to remember all those who have gone home to God. Though you are muted, please join in the response. We remember them.
At the rising of the sun and its going down, we remember them.
At the blowing of the wind and then the chill of winter,
We remember
them.
At the opening of the buds and the rebirth of spring, we
remember them.
At the blueness of the skies and goldness of summer,
We
We remember them.
At the rustling of the leaves and in the beauty of autumn, We remember them.
When we are weary and in need of strength, lost and sick at heart,
We remember them.
Remember them.
As long as we live, they too will live.
We will remember them.
While this pandemic has taken much from us, there is so much more it could not take. It could not take our sense of mission and service to our community. It could not take our bonds of friendship. It could not take our laughter and teasing. It could not take our need for one another, nor could it take our shared tears. Let's commemorate some of the things we did together through our resilience. Resilience is defined as the capacity of a person to maintain their core purpose and integrity in the face of dramatically changed circumstances. We did this over and over again. We did this through healing, through giving, growing together, and celebrating our successes.
From March 2020 until now, we've treated nearly 3,300 COVID-19 patients combined between Mercy and Memorial Hospitals, and discharged over 2,800 COVID-19 patients to their homes or to other care facilities. We treated over 25,000 patients without COVID combined. Additionally, we administered over 2,000 vaccines to our employees, nearly 900 to our community, and over 6,500 doses were given during our on-site vaccine clinics. Together, we healed.
And together we gave. At our employee blood drives, hundreds of pints of blood were donated. Our community grants check distribution parade donated over $380,000 in grants to 9 nonprofit organizations in Kern County. At the holiday toy run, our staff donated over 1,000 toys. And at our hook and ladder barbecue, we raised $40,000 benefiting Kern County's burn survivors and their families. At Operation Barbecue, 46,000 meals were served to those in need. And because of our generous staff, Operation Back to School provided 278 fully loaded backpacks to children in elementary, middle, and high schools. And lastly, our shared Christmas program collected nearly 3,000 items that included clothing and non-perishable food items. And in addition to that, socks, blankets, toys, and more. It resulted in adopting a total of 31 families, impacting nearly 200 people.
And together we grew. If you've seen some new faces around each of our campuses, it's because we've welcomed many new residents and employees last year and this year too. We've had a total of 130 new residents combined between Mercy and Memorial Hospitals join our nursing teams, as well as hired over 1,900 new employees to our team.
Together we celebrated many milestones, achievements, and successes. Mercy and Memorial Hospitals received the Gold Seal of Approval and Advanced Certification as a primary stroke center from the Joint Commission and are both baby-friendly hospitals, the highest accreditation for birth centers. Mercy Hospitals was designated as a Blue Distinction Center Plus for spine surgery and knee and hip replacement by Anthem Blue Cross, as well as a Blue Distinction Center by Blue Shield of California for maternity care and bariatrics.
Meanwhile, Memorial received an A for both spring and fall Leapfrog Hospital grade survey grades. The hospital is recognized by the National Safe Sleep Hospital Certification Program as a Gold Safe Sleep Champion for its commitment to best practices in education on infant safe sleep. We also achieved our redesignation as a Pathway to Excellence hospital by the American Nurses Credentialing Center. As you can see, we've had much to celebrate. Thank you to each and every one of you for what you've done through the last year in helping us to achieve these great accomplishments. We've only begun. And now to Terry Church for some closing remarks.
Thank you, Ken. And thank you all for your presence this morning. We want to thank you for all that you've done this past year. I can tell you from the bottom of my heart and from really all your administrative team, we have been so impressed. and all that we continue to do together to carry forth our mission into the future. And as we, in today's town hall, we do have a couple of minutes if you want to share your thoughts, if you have questions or comments. I think you're able to raise your hand if you want to say something out loud, or you could place it in the chat box. This is really your time.
The past year has been absolutely gut-wrenching in some cases, inspirational in others, and a learning for all of us. The hospitals, the community at large, our friends, our families and colleagues really have benefited as a result of what you guys, your leadership, your partners, your colleagues have done in caring for patients and meeting the needs of the community. You have been inspirational for all of us on behalf of the leadership teams from both facilities. Thank you for everything that you've done in meeting the needs of these patients over the last year.
So we do have a couple of comments in the chat box. They're coming in, they're nice to read. I'll read a couple of those. Starting with Peggy Uckland. Thank you for your leadership throughout all of this. And I think that's really for the whole group. If you're at the bedside, you showed great leadership in taking care of our patients. Beth Miller, thank you for your teamwork this year. Wouldn't want to do this work with anyone else, and amen. Second that. Liz Ruiz, thank you for your overwhelming administrative support for the past 13 months. Again, thank to all of you. Could not do it without all of you. Kim Sandoval, thank you to our administrative team, leadership team, and all the support throughout this past year and always. Connie Hunt, thank you for everyone that has done for our staff and families. So some really great comments, and again, I would mirror Ken. It has been quite the adventurous year. If you would have told me we'd have anything and experience anything like this, I would have said, no way, you're crazy. But we did it, we came through it. We saw, of course, in the pandemic, still a lot of work before us, and it's such a privilege to have all the people that we have on the line today and working our hospitals, taking care of our patients. And Tony Harper also made a comment, this year has been unprecedented, to say the least. It is an honor to have been with this journey with each of you. I can amen to that too.
Yeah, I just wanted to add that I'm coming up on my 10-year anniversary in July. And in the past year, I don't think that there have been more comments sent to me by email, by text, by telephone call, in the supermarket being stopped, from people who were so appreciative of the care that they received, not just at the bedside, but from the moment that they entered our hospitals, at all three of our hospitals. And so I just wanted to share that with you, because we have a lot of members on this team who are not clinical. And what you did in representing our organization in our hospitals just made all of us so proud, and we just want to thank you.
Thank you, Robin. Kim Sandoval also gave a shout out to all of our nurses. Oh, it moved, sorry about that. Just go up again. Our bedside caregivers take care of COVID patients. Super challenging year for them all. And then I'm so grateful and proud to work for Dignity Health. The resilience of our staff is beyond anything I have ever seen. We have such an amazing team, including all departments. And that was from some, I think, like
Kelly Ann.
Neil. Oh, that's okay. I was trying to, I thought it was probably just the first initial. And then Cherise, our nurses are incredible.
May I say something?
Absolutely.
Yes, as I went about my work the past year in the ICU and on the 4th floor, where here at downtown, where mainly our COVID patients were cared for, I couldn't have gotten through the days without seeing the faces of all of my coworkers and seeing how compassionate and kind and generous they were. And I want you to know that I saw that in their faces and I saw that in their actions. And some days when we had 2 and 3 deaths of mother, father, deaths of husband and wife, all of that. Some days seeing the faces of my coworkers and the kindness that they showed and the skill, that's what got me through. And I want to thank you. And I want to thank all of the administrative team for allowing us to do our work and serve. Thank you.
Thank you, Howard. Very kind words. Valerie Diaz said thank you to everyone who worked the COVID vaccine. I'll also say clinics, because I know we had clinics at both Mercy and Memorial and had a lot of great staff pitch in for that. And then if you're on the phone and you've worked the Mass Vax clinic out at Cal State, or you went to a Missionary Baptist Church 2 Sundays ago, thank you very much. You guys have done a phenomenal job, a lot of support. I know we've gotten a lot out of that. And I think the first 2 weeks at the Mass Vax, we did 25,000 vaccines. So doing a lot of great work, and we will continue to get out to Kern County and Bakersfield and vaccinate people. Latoya, she did want to remind us, I think this is a good reminder, you know, not only did we go through a lot, but society. So as things in our community intensified with COVID, so did the opioid epidemic. The ED really stepped up to the call to not forget these issues that plague our community. Great job all around to all hospital staff. Our community continues to thrive and heal because of all of you. Michelle Willow, thank you for your courage, humanity, and kindness. Such an honor to work within this team. Donna Winkley, I'm inspired by and grateful for the community outreach team. We continue to provide impactful health services to the poor and underserved.
Hi, everyone. It's Allison. I just also, on the same page as Latoya, I wanted to mention that we've done such an excellent job with going beyond just COVID and continuing to offer like top-notch care for other disease processes. And so I would feel remiss to not mention that we also were redesignated as a thrombectomy capable stroke center, which is such a huge thing for our community. And I'm very proud of all of our nurses and the collaboration between all hospitals to be able to continue to offer that support and care. And just, there's been things that have happened with our staff beyond COVID and losses in families and things like that, and the grace and support that's been given by everybody is just really touching, and I'm very honored to be a part of the team.
Very good. Sean Patterson, respiratory therapist director. He wants to give us a shameless plug for respiratory therapy. Hey, you know what? Right on the front lines of the COVID, absolutely not a shameless, well earned, Sean, for all the campuses. Just such a great job from our respiratory therapists. As a matter of fact, the nursing physicians could not do it without our respiratory therapist. Maribel, thank you, and I'm very grateful for everyone that took care of my mom, especially on 4 East. I do remember that. This is a really good time to, you know, reflect. Sometimes we don't take that time to really appreciate and reflect all that we've been through, and sometimes just saying a few things is, you know, can be really impactful for not only for you, but for everyone that's on the phone today. Isaac Lynn says, thank you, Michelle, Shane, and ICU team who took care of my mom. Okay, I think that's going to be it for today. Again, thank you for your presence, and you have a blessed day. Thank you for all you've done.